Hey, hi guys. Really, this is just a Q&A for anybody who has questions for me or wants to have a chat about anything. So if you're on live, you can feel free to start putting comments in or questions in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can always text me or email me, of course, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm just going to talk just for a minute and then I'll answer questions, or you can unmute yourself too and ask questions. Either way, it's fine with me. So, welcome to the Belly Blast. Hopefully, by now, you've had a chance to do a workout or two. We're finally on to strength for the rest of the week. We get the hit out of the way right away because I don't know about you guys, but it's not my favorite. So now we're on to the strength, and then we have Pilates on Fridays, and we do, active recovery workouts too. So like Sundays, you may have seen, we do like stretching or yoga, things like that. So there's a video every day, but really only 5 days are workouts. So if you haven't tried one yet, you have through Saturday. We give a couple extra days. I know it's a 5 day challenge, but some people, jump in late or whatever. So plus Saturday is our leg day. So that's the day we do our leg day workout. And that's always like, that's a lot of people's favorite workout. So make sure you catch that on Saturday. And then if you're continuing on with me, you'll keep your access and, of course, be able to do the workouts next week. Make sure that you watched my training that I emailed out today. So I talked a little bit about macros. We don't have time to get into macros this week. It's only 5 days and you're just kind of getting used to the app and using the meal guide and the workouts. So I talked in that video a little bit more about macros because that is what we do in, the 6 week program is we learn how to balance your own personal macros, and I customize these to you, but that's really like where the magic is when it comes to seeing the weight loss. So this week, hopefully, you will see kind of as we follow the meal guide or work on just whole foods and hydration and moving our body, you'll start to see some bloating go away, and hopefully your digestion is better, maybe more energy. Usually we see things start to happen on the inside before we see them happen on the outside. So you'll start feeling better, maybe clearer head, less brain fog, maybe sleeping better. And all those things, they translate to like your life. They make a difference in how you are showing up every day. So don't discount those small wins. In fact, every Friday we like to celebrate wins, even if they're small, because small things lead to big results, right? So they start out as just like, oh, I was finally able to do all the workouts this week. Okay, well, we build on that every week as you build on those little wins, then that adds up to big results. So don't discount those little things that start happening this week. So maybe you always kind of thought that it had to be super hard to see weight loss or to feel better, especially at this stage of life, or you had to do something drastic, or you needed, some special supplement. And hopefully this week you're starting to see that we just take this day by day. This isn't meant to be a quick fix. It's not meant to be just something that you do for 5 days or that you do for 6 weeks. It's really meant to be a sustainable plan. I mean, everything that we teach here is really what we need to be doing pretty much for the rest of our lives. That doesn't mean you have to track macros for the rest of your life, but these are the pillars, the basic pillars of what we need to follow if we want to look good, feel good, and be healthy and have longevity. So, if you've always thought like, oh, I don't want to start something because it's going to be hard, it's going to feel miserable. Well, that might be the case of some things you've done in the past because you've done really low calorie things. A lot of programs are, 1,200 calories or 1,400 calories. And for most of us, that's just not enough at all. So this is not a low calorie plan. You've probably seen that with the meal guide. We really want to build muscle and have energy and support our hormones, and those things require us to eat. Got to eat the right amount of food. So it doesn't have to be miserable. It doesn't have to feel miserable. In fact, most people will say, most of my clients will say that they can stick with it because it doesn't feel miserable, because it feels sustainable. It feels like something you can work into your everyday life. Once you get the hang of it, it takes a couple weeks to kind of settle in and get those habits in place and get that discipline down to, do the things we need to do. But then once we kind of get rolling with that, it really just kind of fits into your life. So that's kind of what makes it different. And it's nice and structured, as you've seen. So you don't have to do a lot of thinking. There's no more like spinning your wheels trying to figure out what works. You've got the structure. And that also helps you, I think, stay on track and stick with it because you have that structure. You don't have to think. And then you have the accountability. You have me checking in with you. You've got other people doing it with you. And then if you do join me for the 6 weeks, I think I've said this, you will have a private community on a private app. We use something called Social Glow. I used to use Facebook, then my Facebook got hacked and whatever. So now it's on a private app, but you have that, like other people doing it with you. And that just kind of like gives you motivation and helps you have that support, because I've had people do the program, the 6 week program with me, and then try to do it on their own after that. And they come back because they're like, I can so easily quit on myself. But when I have other people, or when I have you checking in with me, it's a lot harder to quit. It's harder to quit on other people. It's easy to quit when it's just you and nobody knows. It's easy to fall into that, like back into old habits and not pushing yourself. And so I do think that the community and accountability piece is really important too. Someone asked, is Faster Way different than you, or are you working together? So I'm a coach for the Faster Way program. I also have other certifications besides the Faster Way certification that I use to coach my clients. So I have a Menopause for Athletes certification. I have through Dr. Stacy Sims, who you may have heard of. I have Integrative Health Practitioner, which is through Dr. Cabral. We saw him on the call yesterday. So I have other certifications that allow me to go a little bit deeper and to have a little bit more, knowledge and education to help you through this stage of life. So I am coaching the Faster Way program, but I make tweaks to it, and I, do additional things in my coaching, customizing it to you, really tweaking it to be more toward perimenopause, menopause for those who need that. So yes, it's the Faster Way program, but yes, I also tweak things a little bit too. So okay. That's all I really have. I'm here to answer any questions that you guys have. I did a Q&A on my Instagram stories yesterday. Some of you guys had questions about fasting. I really don't stress the fasting too much. I don't worry about that because it's not the biggest part of the program. A lot of my clients just do 12 hours, which is like having breakfast or having dinner at 7 p.m. and breakfast at 7 a.m. So as you can see, that's pretty easy. And it's actually nice because it helps you to cut out that evening snacking, which a lot of us can get into. So really it's not anything to stress about or worry about. What are some other questions that I had? You can switch workout days. Yes, you can, make it work for your schedule. You can, if you go to classes that you love, we can come up with a schedule for you to do that. Although I do think that our workouts are the most effective. If you have something that you love to do, it's totally fine. I like to meet you where you're at and help you make this work for you. So, I really appreciate the personal check-ins from you. Yes, I love chatting with you guys. Like when I text you, and I think I may have said this in my text yesterday, I want you to respond. I want to interact with you. I'm not just a coach who's just gonna send you off into the wilderness alone. I'm holding your hand the entire way. I'm there to answer questions. Some people don't want to engage, and that's totally fine. But I'm definitely there the whole time, all the time, forever and ever. That's what I do for my job. This is my full-time job. So I love connecting too, because that just makes it more fun for me, more fun for you when we can do it together and we're not just like online out on an island. Okay, so those of you on live, do you have any questions? Oh, I said this in my video that I sent, but I am doing a special. If you do want to continue with me next week, if you join me by Friday, not only will you get the faster way $20 off with the code Sara20, or save 20, either one will work. Um, but I am also giving an additional $30 back to you after you sign up if you join by Friday. So through Friday, for anybody who joins, you'll actually get $50 off. Um, so that's kind of just your incentive to keep the momentum and really go into the weekend, like, you know, set and planned for next week and ready to go. So that's and Faster is also giving away free BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. It's a supplement and it's like until they're gone. So I don't know how many they have in stock, but if that's something that you want, that helps you. If you are working out fasted, that helps you, which I don't always recommend working out fasted, but if you are going to work out fasted, you'll definitely want the BCAAs. Or if you're a vegan, they can help you. It really helps mostly with building muscle. So make sure you uh, jump on that. If you know already that you want to join, you might as well. I think the discount code goes live at 1 p.m. Eastern today. So you'll want to do that. Where do we find your video from today? It's in the email today that I sent. I think I sent it this morning. Can't remember exactly what time, but it's in that email. And I know, Tammy, you didn't maybe get the first email, but hopefully you got the email today. If not, you can text me and I'll make sure you got it. And if you guys didn't check the trainings that Faster did yesterday and Monday, they're in your app. They're really good. Amanda talks a lot about fasting. So again, I got a lot of questions about that. I would not stress about fasting. It's really not the biggest part of the program. There's many benefits to fasting, but it's definitely very individual. So Dr. Cabral is great. He like tells it how it is. He's very, very realistic, but also very smart. That's how I got my integrative health practitioner, and I learned so much from him. He's just a wealth of knowledge. He has a podcast too. I think he mentioned it on that call. They're real short, and it's a daily podcast. So he's got tons of topics. And they're usually like 15 minutes or so. So you can always check his podcasts out. All right. Any other questions? Okay, guys. I will see you over text or email. Hopefully I'll see you next week too. And feel free to reach out if you think of anything after this call, you can just send me a text or an email. And hopefully you can jump on that pantry raid at noon. So, okay, guys, bye. It was good to see you guys. Thanks for hopping on.